Happy New Year and welcome to our first Tech Connect Thursday of 2023, powered by WEtech Alliance in partnership with Invest WindsorEssex, FedDev Ontario, Clair College, University of Windsor and Workforce WindsorEssex. My name is John-Marc Vachon. I'm the Director of Marketing for WEtech Alliance. I'll be your moderator for today's discussion, where we'll be talking innovation and tech jobs with a global company in our own backyard, Vista. Assisting me today is Emily Roback, WEtech's Digital Marketing and Social Media Coordinator. In addition to our Zoom attendees, we're also streaming this session live to our Facebook page. Feel free to join the conversation in the chat on both Zoom and Facebook. If you have a question for today's guests, please submit them using the Q&A feature on Zoom or in the comments section on Facebook. And now I'm pleased to welcome today's guests. Joining us from Vista are Eric Rebner, Director, Technical Services, Willys Abali, Manager, Manufacturing Engineering, Peter D'Angelo, Lead Manufacturing Engineer. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. So let's get started. First, we'll get Eric. If you want to tell us a bit about yourself, your role at Vista, and the company.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you to John-Marc Vachon and the entire WEtech team for having us on the call today. We're excited to be here to share more about not only ourselves as individuals, but also share more about us as a company that has been a fixture in our local community for almost 20 years now. As John-Marc mentioned, my name is Eric Rebner. I am the Director of Technical Services here at Vista. So I have full responsibility of engineering and maintenance in the Windsor facility. A little bit about my background. I started with a college diploma in mechatronics from Clair College, which is a mix of controls and robotics, also with mechanical design, all geared towards design and implementation of automated systems. From there, I earned a mechanical engineering degree from Lakehead University up in Thunder Bay, at which point I started my career in the auto industry. So I spent 16 years in the automotive industry in manufacturing, various roles from maintenance supervisor, automation specialist. From there, world-class manufacturing manager, plant operations manager, and then finally 2 opportunities where I was the head of manufacturing for the body shop and paint shop prior to joining Vista almost 2 years ago now. I also have a background in lean manufacturing as a global auditor for the World Class Manufacturing Association. That's a company primarily used by FCA at the time, now Stellantis and other companies, where I was able to provide professional guidance and auditing at companies such as Case New Holland, Kamau, Magneti Marelli, Elica, and Whirlpool. So a little bit about Vista. Vista has been in its current location in Lakeshore since 2004. Has expanded rapidly on its current site to over 500,000 square feet. Vista, formerly known as Vista Print, for those who are local on the call and familiar with us, is that expert marketing and design partner for small businesses. We're an e-commerce company that provides solutions to support the needs of small businesses. As we transition from Vista Print to Vista, we look to expand our services beyond traditional print, including design, digital services, as well as website opportunities through our partnership with Wix. This transformation allows us to move from a transactional business model to one that builds and develops relationships with our customers. As I mentioned earlier, we're over 500,000 square foot facility under roof. We produce various paper products, including business cards, greeting and holiday cards, flyers, postcards, calendars, door hangers, presentation folders, etc. We also produce a wide range of large format products, such as vinyl retractable banners, lawn signs, car door magnets, flags, and table runners. Finally, we have an entire department dedicated to promotional products and gifts, including garments that we produce using direct-to-garment technology, screen printing, heat transfer, and embroidery. And we also have a wide array of hard good items that we produce, such as water bottles, mugs, pens, and mouse pads. So a very wide range of product portfolio that we manufacture here at our site. More than the traditional business card that you would associate with a printing company. So why Vista? Well, what's unique about our company? Vista is an extremely innovative company. We're always looking and launching new products, offerings on our website to our customers that result in new technology and process improvements to support the manufacturing of these products. So as an example, in the auto industry, for those that are familiar with it, product cycles are very long. Changeover is very infrequent. When it happens, it's big, but it doesn't happen very often. So there's a lot of monotony in the day-to-day experiences and problems that arise with manufacturing. In the printing industry, new product introductions are always ongoing and provides opportunities to facilitate projects to support the manufacturing needs of the plant. So constantly looking and facilitating and supporting new projects, new technology, new processes is something that the printing industry has to offer. Vista is one, if not the largest online printer in the world. Our Lakeshore facility is the largest in North America. We also have plant locations in Reno, Nevada, and other manufacturing sites globally in Europe, Australia, and India. Our Lakeshore facility doubles as a North American headquarters, housing support functions such as FP&A, data and analytics, IT and software development, advanced manufacturing engineering, advanced quality, as well as supplier quality and supply chain and purchasing. So we're a bit unique in that aspect that, you know, within our facility here in Lakeshore, we also have a lot of corporate functions that reside out of this location. We also promote a very healthy work-life balance and support flexible remote working policies for a variety of our job functions. I personally think the printing industry is an excellent opportunity for career growth and technical opportunities. Often at times we feel like, you know, sometimes we're overshadowed by the automotive industry, especially in the Windsor-Essex region. But there's so many applications where printing is overlooked, even as the world evolves to a digital focus. I came across an article just to kind of share with everyone on the call that discussed industrial printing for career opportunities, and it kind of resonated with me, so I wanted to share it with you as well. You know, printing often gets overlooked, mainly because the general population doesn't understand the connection between printing and our daily lives. So as an example, if everyone could take a look around you, whether in your office, at home, I'll bet you'll find at least a few products or items that requires some level of industrial printing. So for example, you know, I have a bottle of hand sanitizer here. I've got a cell phone holder, even this protein bar wrapper, right? All of which required some level of printing to make the product happen. Now, in the example that was used in the article, it discussed batteries. So you're purchasing batteries for a primary purpose. You need the batteries, but often what's overlooked is the packaging and the printing required to, you know, allow those batteries to be sold to the general public. And no different than the examples I just used. You know, you buy a protein bar for a particular primary purpose, right? And you don't necessarily understand or correlate that to a company that makes the packaging for that and prints the packaging or prints the label on the bottle. So it's kind of an interesting perspective on industrial printing that I found beneficial, that I wanted to share with the group to try to make that connection, because I think there's a lot of opportunities in this industry that don't get over or understood properly, because I think you know, we're printing in general is associated to the traditional, say, business card, right? Which we make a lot of business cards and we do that very well. But we also print a lot of other items that aren't associated with a printing facility such as ours. So, so I just wanted to share that with the group here on the call. And at this time, I'd like to introduce two of our key members on our team that will take us through some more specifics regarding the printing industry, introduce themselves, provide some background, and be able to answer any questions that anyone might have on the call today. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Willys Abali.
Thank you, Eric. A little bit about myself. I've been with Vistaprint for a little over 4 years now. I actually moved to Windsor back in 2005 as an international student, and I went to Clair College, where I took a mechanical engineering technology program, and then at Windsor, where I did the industrial engineering program as well as my master's program. After graduating, left Windsor for about a year, but I loved Windsor so much that I came back once there was an opportunity to come back to the area. Originally worked in the automotive industry, just like many people in Windsor, and I had the opportunity to join the Vistaprint team in 2018. Since I've joined Vistaprint, I've held multiple roles: manufacturing engineer, lead engineer, and now I hold the role of the manager for manufacturing engineering. That's a little about me. I would reserve the more comments for the questions that come next. But Peter is one of the engineers at Vistaprint. He's the lead engineer on one of the teams I manage. I'll pass it on to him to introduce himself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Again, thank you for having us today. So a little bit about myself, more of a unexpected journey in my schooling and career. I did my bachelor's of engineering in environmental engineering at University of Windsor, followed by a master's in mechanical, specializing in acoustics. Led me down a path outside of manufacturing, doing consulting work, and then actually in the States for a couple of years. But I realized, similar to Willys as well, I'd rather work in Windsor, closer to home, better quality of life. And I was fortunate to get an opportunity at Vista just over 4 years ago as well. Started out as a manufacturing engineer, and then a few years ago was successful, fortunate to get the opportunity as a lead manufacturing engineer. So I've worked at a few departments since then, been able to understand and learn different aspects of the company, continuously improve, and be part of the great team here.
That's awesome. And like I was joking with you guys backstage before we started, I don't want this to sound like an advertorial, but I've been using Vista or Vistaprint previously for 10 plus years, before even working for WEtech Alliance, and a lot since joining WEtech Alliance. And we had myself and our president and CEO, Von Peelon, had the opportunity to tour the facility a few months ago now. And just blown away by the size, the scale. I always knew that Vista was a global company and that had a footprint in Windsor. I just did not realize the scale at which the local operation was, like one of the largest in the world. And I know it's one of the flagships for Vista as a company right here locally. So we definitely, soon as Von and I were actually, while we were on the tour, we kind of looked at each other and was like, yeah, we got to tell this story. It's just an amazing, and like you guys said, there's so many tech jobs and opportunities within your organization right here locally. And I love that both Peter and Willys, you talked about how you wanted to be able to stay locally, and Willys, you left for a little bit and came back, and that's what this is all about, is just telling the audience and the greater world the opportunities that there are here in tech and beyond. So that's amazing to hear. So this
just to add to that, John-Marc, I think you hit on a key point there. You shared some of the products and things that you personally have that we produced, and it just kind of highlights the aspect of what our business model is about mass customization and personalizing products that we produce quantities as low as one. So it could be one of a kind in the world. Like you could order one jacket that you're wearing, you could order 100. So it's a really unique and interesting and exciting business model that we have here. Seeing customers' dreams and orders and come to fruition, right? To be able to provide that product to our customers so that they're really happy and satisfied, and hopefully return to us for their other business needs.
Yeah, and that's huge especially for small businesses and entrepreneurs just kind of starting out. They don't have a huge workforce. This shirt I'm wearing, actually, we purchased this a few years ago, and this was a one-off, one of one, and we let all the team choose their whatever style they wanted, and to have no minimum quantities is huge for a smaller organization or smaller company for sure. And then even though I was first introduced to Vistaprint at the time through business cards 10 plus years ago, purchased so many other products over the years, and we use extensively, from swag for our team to banners and print materials for different events that we have going on. So again, this is not an advertorial. We're not being paid to say this. We're just huge fans.
Thank you for being a customer.
Yeah, absolutely. So what does this is a question for anybody to jump in on. What does a typical workday look like for you in your role?
I'll jump in on this one first, and Willys and Eric, please feel free to expand after. So me being very closely to the floor, you have your daily challenges that come up. Our customer directly is production, but being able to be involved in the dynamic environment that both Eric and Willys touched on, how quickly we're introducing new products to expand our portfolio, make sure that we're a one-stop shop for our customers, that they have everything they need for their need, whether it's a business or a birthday party. Being able to be part of that team and from start to finish in a very short period of time, work with core groups that are all of the same team, striving to provide the best value and product to our customer is quite an opportunity.
To jump into Peter's comments, I think we pride ourselves in saying we are an agile company, which means as new products get in the market, as customers want newer, better products, we need to be at the forefront, investigating, testing, and deploying new products as fast as the customers want them. That means every day we're having strategic discussions, brainstorming meetings, project planning to make sure, again, we stay ahead of the competition, and always there and ready to satisfy our customers.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that really kind of struck me on our tour was actually, Eric, you were our tour guide for it. And just even though Vista is a global company, your Lakeshore location, even I was impressed with the innovation that comes out of just the local division of it, and how nimble you are, and as new products become available, or even making changes to existing products was really that you could do that at this level, at the local level, despite being a global company, was really interesting to me. So again, anyone can jump in on this one. Define your company's culture in 3 words.
Go ahead, Willis.
I want to start with an experience I had, and it goes a long way to tell you the culture here. So on my first day at Vista 4 or 5 years ago, I was walking down the highway, and a lift truck driver stopped the lift truck, waved at me, came down, said, "Hey, you're the new guy. We saw the email that came out about the new guy. Welcome to the team. Anything you want, any information you need, let me know. I can help. And if I don't know, I will ask someone who knows." That behavior is what you find across all levels of the organization in Vistaprint. In Vista, from the top level senior leaders to the team members who support our production environment, everyone is ready, willing to help, to collaborate, to find solutions to our day-to-day problems. And again, the end goal is, how do we make the customer happy? So we all collaborate, we're all friendly, and we work together for that end goal.
Yeah, so I'll jump on that. And Willis took some of my points, but we are an authentic company. We strive to make sure that debates are encouraged, constructive debates. That just because you're at a certain level, you can't ask a question or offer an opportunity, no matter who you're talking to, whether it's a peer or a senior level management. We encourage those discussions to continue to grow, including all the way down to our shop floor with our team members. They are roped in, and we have such a team mindset that it's constructive, it's friendly, and that's how we continue to push the boundary and succeed in our environment. It's the people, it's the team that continue to strive, that want to do good work, that want to make sure our customers have the best experience possible.
That's awesome. I know I was really struck by that on the tour as well. It was quite an extensive tour, and we got to see a lot of different departments and floors, and I was really struck by how welcoming everyone was, and they were just going about their jobs, and you could see them smiling and saying hi to everyone, and the culture was really it was really obvious, just even on the tour.
So John-Marc, maybe 2 words doesn't really justify how great of a culture we have here at Vista. So maybe I'll throw in one more.
Sure.
You hear companies talk about their people and how much they care about the people. Vista epitomizes that. Vista lives for the team, right? Without letting too much go, not to get in trouble. Through the COVID period, right? As companies made decisions to restructure, Vista always had the team members as the core. How do we take care of our team members, right? Meetings with the senior leadership team, and it's interesting that as we make all these decisions that are financial decisions, the question always comes back to our team. How do we protect our team so that any impact the company feels, they don't feel it? So you hear companies talk about their teams. Vista lives for taking care of our teams.
That's awesome. Even in the boardroom that we were in during the tour, it was obvious on the walls, some of the graphics that were on the walls about the culture at Vista. Was really cool to see. So what sets Vista apart from its competition? Sounds like you kind of already touched on, I mean, with the culture being a big one, is there anything else you wanted to add?
I would say, from my perspective, being the newer member of the team, the work environment, and what I mean by that is obviously the work-life balance aspect, but the flexibility that we as a company provide our team members, very autonomous as far as decision-making abilities, trying to drive decisions at all levels of the organization to help speed up progress and eliminate roadblocks. I think that's one of the key aspects for me in joining Vista is just, again, that culture and that work-life respect and balance for its team members, right, at all levels. So it's a fantastic opportunity here.
Yeah, I think Willys and Eric nailed it. One of our senior leaders had a quote that kind of always lives in the back of my mind. It's any print shop can buy the same equipment. I mean, relative to scale, we're not making the equipment. It's the people that sets us apart. That's what gives us that edge. We continue to drive to, as Willys said, we the care for the people, making sure we protect the people. But the people they like coming to work. They look forward to coming to work and be involved in making a great product that's going to make somebody's day or a business, help succeed, small business or large. It's great impact. You can see, as you mentioned, John-Marc, on the tour, friendliness, they want to be here. They're excited to be here and help contribute.
Yeah, actually, to the point about not making the equipment necessarily, that was another thing on the tour that really impressed me, is that in some cases you're helping innovate some of the equipment that you have, and you've worked with some local companies to develop equipment for the process, and I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but that was just something that really stuck out to me. Is again, you're a global company, but locally you're doing things that are really impressive and innovative.
Yeah, not only develop but also adapt, right? To the point about buying equipment that's available to any great company. Nobody else really does what we do, and we really have to take our experience and our needs and adapt equipment, redesign aspects of it to really make it an industrial scale. On your tour, I'm sure walking in, you thought it was more of a smaller, maybe print shop, but we're an industrial facility, right? We're beyond a small little print shop, and I think that gets everyone's attention when they walk through the doors and really understand the scale and the scope of what we do here. It's pretty remarkable, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I knew, being a customer for many, many years, I knew that Vista was a sizable company. I just didn't realize the size, how big the local operation was. That was really impressive. So next question, you guys have kind of already answered, but I'll ask it anyway, just in case you want to add anything to it. If not, we can move on to the next one. But what do you like most about working for Vista?
I'll go first. These guys look like they're taking a second to come up with an example. So recent really good experience I had, both employee as a customer, was a family member would like to purchase a number of our custom blankets for a grandparent to give away to all the young grandkids. So although I wasn't involved in overseeing the manufacturing of them, to see the face of not only the grandparent, but the little kids opening these blankets on Christmas Day, that exactly is, what I come to work for, is that I have that impact, to the customers, whether it's a personal consumer product or small business. That's, what I strive for, is that has, that changes somebody, whether it's a wedding invitation or flyers to promote a small business. We're making a very large impact. And it's great to see that if you can observe it first person, whether it's a jacket that you mentioned, John-Marc, or something like my example.
For me, I would say every day is a new day, and there's a new set of challenges and opportunities. And kind of as I mentioned in the earlier comments introducing the company, I'm in my background not used to the amount of change that happens here. But that's also a great thing, and it kind of reinvigorates not only me, but I think our teams, as far as all these exciting products and everything. Something new is always coming down, to us to really make a concept into a reality, right? From idea, from product idea, to how do we make this on the mass scale and make it available to customers across North America. So I think that's what, excites me every day. Every day is a new set of challenges, but it's also exciting to be part of all of the problem solving and innovation and technology that we have here at it's not, our scale can't be easily matched, right? We have all the resources to be autonomous internally here, and we take advantage of that to really be above the competition, right? Because these are some huge barriers that to enter the competition, and our scale just really kind of sets us apart from everybody else.
And that's really impressive, the fact that you're such a large company, but you still are able to be nimble at a local level is, I mean, the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, for me, I think coming from the automotive industry where we work easily 60 hours a week, and having a young family, and coming to Vistaprint and being able to manage work and home life, that work-life balance, I think that is one of the reasons I love working here. A conversation recently I had with one of my colleagues, actually a recruiter who was recruiting for a position for Vistaprint. He made a comment that when you come to Vistaprint, realistically, you will work 40 hours. If your work is 40 hours a week, you will be working 40 hours a week. And the candidate said, no, there's no way you tell me there's a job in Windsor in manufacturing where I can go home at 4:30 on Friday. And so that work-life balance is really was really important to me. But in Vistaprint, we tend to be very humble. I don't know if you've seen you've seen it amongst us, but really what we do here, we strive to be the best at what we do, right? And working for a company that wants to be the best, that's very innovative. I know you walked through the plant during the tour, but behind all of this is technology, right? Tech runs everything we do. When we have a problem, internally we build software packages to resolve these problems, right? When we spoke about your tour through the plant and having vendors, working with vendors, something we often hear from our vendors that, hey, we've never had to do that for any customer, and we sell this machine across the world, right?
Wow.
We push the envelope, we challenge the status quo. And that's why I love working for Vistaprint, and that's what makes us who we are. We don't settle for mediocre. We challenge and we push the envelopes.
That's awesome. Actually, I love that line you said, tech runs everything we do, because I mean, that's really, that's our bread and butter. We're in the tech and innovation space, but we firmly believe that every company is a tech company at its core nowadays. I mean, it's tough to do anything without having technology as an access or enabling it in your company. So let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about hiring. What roles are you guys currently hiring for?
I am currently hiring for a manufacturing engineer for my team. Actually, Peter is a lead manufacturing engineer, so I'll let him talk a little bit about the role and what he does on a day-to-day.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have different departments of engineers, more focused on like different core areas of the business. So we have the day-to-day, typical engineering tasks that you'd see on almost any role responsibilities chart. But what separates us is the involvement with our peer teams of the new product introduction. So you have your daily challenges. Production has X issue. We're going to work and problem solve and root cause it. So we correct it and we prevent it from happening in the future, which staple in traditional engineering and manufacturing. But the connection we have to introduce new products with all of our software teams, those collaborations and how we go through testing and different things allows us to really, as Eric and Willys said, push that envelope, challenge vendors. Even if we've had the equipment for 5 years, well, we want to do this now. How do we get there? And we're going to work together to build that relationship and make sure we can deliver the best product to the customer. So as I think Eric said it, every day is different, and that is an absolute true statement. It's the flip side. It's the absolute opposite side of automotive, where it's lines that take a long time to change over, but they're relatively stagnant for years. It's complete inverse here. We're constantly learning to adapt, improve our work cells to bring in new products or just make current products better for our customers.
Yeah, and I've worked with for WEtech for it'll be 8 years in March. And that's my number one thing. My favorite part of my job is that it's always different. No 2 days are the same. We're always doing new things, and I absolutely love that. I worked very, very briefly in a factory factory when I was a teenager, and it's just, the monotonous doing the exact same thing day in, day out. Wasn't my thing. So being able to innovate and constantly evolve is a huge, I think, benefit for a lot of people. And just for those that are interested, Emily put in the chat the link to the manufacturing engineering job as well, if you want to learn more or apply for that job.
Outside of the current open positions, we have multiple positions that we have for across the organization, especially here in Windsor. We have a local IT team that's made up of software developers, system engineers. So when you talk about tech, that's another core group that hires people in the tech space. We do have financial analysts, we have data analysts. Again, when you talk about tech, our plants, like everything else, being very interconnected, everything talking to each other, right? Talking about the innovation we have in our plants. We have data analysts who are constantly looking at these and interpreting these data to help us make better decisions. We have an engineering group that deals with new technology. They go out there to test new technology and new products to ensure that we're always ahead of that curve. So there's multiple roles in the organization, both locally and worldwide, that we have for. So again, look, if you're looking in the tech space, we do have opportunities here at Vista.
Awesome. So for those that might be interested in applying for a job at Vista, what can you give them a bit of an insight into the interview process, what that looks like for your company?
I'll take this one since it's fresh in my mind, since I'm going through the interview process right now. Usually once you apply for a role, the very excellent recruiter, Matt, he would do a screening just to make sure the applicant qualifies and meets all the requirements we're looking for. And then there's an on-site interview. Seeing that we're a tech company, we also have the option to do virtual interviews, but generally we prefer on-site interviews. Depending on the role, there could be a second stage on-site interview paired up with a plant tour, but generally it's a screening interview and then an offer, which is standard across industry, I think.
Excellent. So what do you look for in a hire? What can someone do to stand out amongst the other applicants?
Our interview process is behavioral. I think skill, you can coach someone, you can teach someone, you can train them technically, but behavioral skill is one that is, I would say, harder to coach and train. So our questions are usually behavioral. We have here in Vista, we have what we call Vista behaviors that guide the culture, and so we structure our interview questions to touch these behaviors that we're looking for. An example I'll give you is acting like an owner. We might have a question in there, a behavioral question to the candidate to test the ownership skills that they have, right? When they deal with problems in their previous roles, in their previous work experiences, how do they attack that problem as an owner, as a leader, or as a participant, right? That's an example of things we look for. So our interview process is behavioral and is structured around our Vista 6 behaviors. To add to that, again, since I'm in the interview process right now, when candidates come in not ready, right, it's very obvious, and that starts right from your resume, right? Your resume can tell a lot about you. So when candidates, and advice to candidates who are looking to apply is just prepare for the interview. You come into the interview with multiple questions, right? It would show the interview panel that you've done your research. We have resources online. If you have an interview, you can find out who the interview is, check them out on LinkedIn, right? You come in showing that you've done your research, showing some initiative, and that goes a long way. Outside of the interview questions, that goes a long way in saying what type of candidate that is.
So along those lines, what advice do you have for applicants for what not to do during the interview process, or what kind of red flags do you looking for?
Yeah, I know Willys kind of touched on that a little bit. So the resume, that gets your foot in the door. That's what, gets you flagged for the screening, making sure it's up to date, obviously, but in the condensed form that has, the essential highlights, not several pages long. It's not important what volunteer work you did in high school. We're looking for information that directly translates to why you'd be a good candidate at Vista. I'll share one red flag that still sits in the back of my mind. It was a problem-solving type question on an interview, and the candidate's answer was, "I will ask Siri." So don't know if they intended it to be funny, but we did not take it that funny. But no, it's being prepared, as Will has said, for the questions. The standard interview questions you could Google. I'm sure they're used, but we adapt them to our behavioral format, looking that you can in the technical team and engineering that you can solve problems. How do you approach a problem? Not necessarily, we're not looking for a numeric answer in a question, but just gauging how you go about the problem using your team members and support groups and so forth.
Definitely, yeah.
I'll give you an example from my much younger days. Right out of school, I connected with a recruiter and had a conversation about, applying for jobs he had posted. He said, "Okay, send me a resume, I'll see what fits." In my introduction to my resume, I had attention to detail. And he responded back, highlighting my resume, say, "Hey, you just said attention to detail. Here's all the details you missed on your resume." Yes, so something like that, right, is a red flag. It stuck with me ever since.
I think it's important through the whole process that, you advocate for you as a candidate. It's a competition at the end of the day, right? And you're trying to highlight yourself, your skills, beyond the rest of the competition that's applying for the same position. So, focusing on what you did to lead a particular situation, what you did, right? Not so much, I participated, but these are the activities that I led will really help set you apart, I think, from the competition, and really focusing on the key behaviors, teamwork, work ethic, integrity, respect. Those are all key aspects that we would look for, to help support our culture here and what we're trying to have that team environment and that collaboration, and those types of skill sets are paramount when we look for new candidates.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to kind of echo some of what you guys were already saying about kind of being prepared for like the questions you ask, but also like do your homework on the company you're applying for. That really sets you apart. It's pretty obvious usually in the interview process when someone doesn't know the company that they're applying for. So definitely do your homework, do some research, and know who you're applying to. So for anybody that is interested in potentially working for Vista, what kind of perks do you offer for your employees?
I can take this one. We do have a program, actually it's a Canada-wide program which Vista has signed up for, Percopolis, that is offered to team members. The program I get the email every week of all the deals that are ongoing, from gifts to apparel to tech. Percopolis offers a wide range of discounts across multiple product categories, and we do have that. Other perks, we have a lot of company events that annually, every month we do have a company event. We have the golf tournaments, we have on-site events as well. We have employee discounts, very generous employee discounts for employees who work here. We have the employee assistance program to support mental health. We have wellness days coming out of COVID. Company realized, that people, the stress of COVID impacting people, and the company gave wellness days to people, which is just additional paid time off to spend time with the family, recuperate. We do have work from home and hybrid opportunities in certain roles. That is a perk that I believe has been recently added to what we offer. We have excellent benefits programs, and the list goes on and on and on. We have excellent home and car insurance. That's one I benefited from when I joined the Vista family.
Nice. I remember when, again, on the tour, just seeing all of the different ways that Vista is involved in the community is really cool. Just kind of speaking to Willis, what you were saying earlier, just that really impressive how many different ways you guys engage with the community. So that was a big one that that kind of took away from that. So just last question on the topic of the jobs is, what advice do you have for someone that's wanting to get into the tech role? What skills do you recommend that they work on to get started? And that was a question that was actually several times from some of our audience members. So it's clearly one that they're really interested in. No pressure, but I mean, you know, they're really interested in your answer on this one.
So, so when you say tech, there's two streams, right? There's traditional tech. You talk about companies like Facebook, Twitter, Alphabet, software developers, cloud computing. And then when you talk about what we offer a hybrid of traditional manufacturing and traditional tech, and put that together into a tech manufacturing company here in Windsor. So if the question is traditional tech, maybe some of the answers are similar, which would be, I believe technology is growing faster than the curriculum is. Technology growth is outpacing our school curriculum. So when you get in industry, not everything you were taught or what you need to be successful, you were not necessarily taught in school. So in order to do that, is a lot of self-learning. And what that means is there's tons of platforms, right? There's tons of platforms, there's tons of resources, YouTube videos, and self-teaching and projects at home, projects in community that goes a long way in setting you apart from others who are just wanting to get into tech industry like yourself. When we interview candidates, those that stand out a lot are those who have, again, explored resources online to teach themselves what is not generally taught in university, right? Everything is going to tech, everything is going interconnected, everything is going Internet of Things. So, and again, our curriculum is not keeping pace with that. So those who are looking to get into the tech industry, I would say it goes a long way to, in your free time, self-teach yourself, stay up to date in what's going on in the tech space.
Yeah, definitely a great answer. I mean, I know I've been in the industry for a long time, and I still learn something new every single day. So it's you never stop learning. And again, that's another thing I love about this job is we're always innovating and always learning new things as we go. It's never stagnant.
And that's how we stay successful as a company. As a company, we're constantly learning, we're constantly self-developing solutions to problems that exist.
Excellent. So we have a question from the audience here. What's the biggest challenge in creating an inclusive culture that supports diverse customer needs? Do you offer embossed braille on products and business cards?
It's an interesting one.
Maybe start with we'll answer the second part of that question first. Is, on a product perspective, do you offer embossed braille on products and business cards currently?
As a product, I don't believe so. But we have our customers are able to upload their designs and customize as they see fit. And so we do have, I believe you have the capability for a customer to upload a design that needs to be embossed to reveal the braille. I believe we have that capability. As a template, we don't, but from a freedom for customers to upload their design, we do offer that.
So I just have one final question today, but before we get to that, I'll ask our Zoom audience to take a moment to provide your feedback on the poll that Emily just launched. For our Facebook audience, please feel free to leave your feedback in the comments section on Facebook. Okay, so for the last question, what did we miss? Is there anything else that you guys want the audience and the community to know about Vista before that we didn't cover today in our conversation?
I'll expand. I think Eric and Willys both touched on it, and John-Marc, you as well with the tour. The scale of the facility, I think, until you've seen it for yourself, whether you go on Google Maps and you try and find the location, this facility covers majority of North America, which I think once people hear that, and if they've had a tour or they've seen any type of other information on the facility, then it starts to resonate and set in that it's not a standard small printing shop with one or two desktop style printers. It's a very massive facility that is constantly striving to adapt. We're staying ahead of the 8 ball, making sure that we're looking at what the customer patterns are looking for to introduce new products, modify products to improve the quality. So yeah, the scale of what we do here and day to day is very impressive. I know I didn't expect it, and I had some family and friends that had worked here before, and even they could not demonstrate until you've seen it for yourself. It's a truly impressive organization.
I just
Absolutely.
hope, you know,
That
on
would-
the call. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just hope on the call today that we were able to, you know, share more about the company and us and what we do here. And just really highlight the opportunities that exist in the printing industry. Many of which that, you know, I've been learning since my tenure and time here. But there's so much opportunity in printing that I don't think gets the attention that it deserves, right? So that's why I tried using the examples to kind of, you know, make that relationship connection between products and printing. But printing is basically across every single industry in the entire economy. And, you know, Vista provides solutions to customers for that. And I think there's some great opportunities, and we're always looking for, you know, innovative and technical, you know, resources to help support us in our journey.
For me, I think anyone in the area looking for a career move and exploring other opportunities, I think Vista is the place to be, right? We've come here, we've said all of these great stuff about Vista, but the reality is it's not a sales speech, right? People who work here can testify to who we are as a company and what we do and how much we care for our people. We continue to explore, like this webinar we're having, we continue to explore opportunities to partner with the local community, with organizations like WEtech Alliance, just to get a little more brand awareness out there to say, this is who we are. We've won multiple awards across the years: best printing award, best places to work, two years in a row, I believe. Best of the best workplace. We've won safety award coming out of COVID, given to us by the local health unit. We've won best printer across multiple categories. We've won best in tech and innovation. We've won best large company in Windsor, I believe, in 2019. We have, at my last count, 165 plus patents in the US. So when it comes to a company that wants to stay in the forefront of technology, when it comes to a company that's very innovative, combining traditional printing, traditional manufacturing, and tech, I think Vista is a place to be.
Absolutely. And just lastly, I'll add from kind of what Peter talked about, just the culture. Well, actually, all of you talked about it. The culture blew me away when we did our tour, but also to Peter's point about just the scale of it. I know, Eric, on our tour, you were just talking to about some of the numbers of, like, the number of SKUs that you have that come out of specifically the Lakeshore facility, the number of packages that are sent out every day. It's just mind blowing. Like that's why we named this talk about. It's just the global company, our own backyard, that we don't necessarily even realize. So they're just really appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to us today and share more about Vista, and hopefully our audience learned a little bit more about what you guys do and are able to you know, realize the opportunity for, if you're looking for a job, Vista is a great option for that. So that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank today's panelists, Eric, Willis, and Peter, for taking the time to talk with me today. Thank you to our Zoom and Facebook audience for joining us, and to Emily for helping us out with the back-end production. Until next time, be sure to stay plugged into the regional tech and innovation scene by visiting WEtech-Alliance.com for more tech and innovation news, events, and tech jobs. That's everything. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a good day.